What if I told you that the first impression you have of the world isn't really about the world at all? What if it's actually about you? Today, we're going to explore this wild idea, how a single split-second glance can reveal the personality you might keep hidden, maybe even from yourself.
It sounds a little out there, doesn't it? The idea that the very first thing your brain grabs onto when you see a new image isn't just random, but it's a direct clue to who you are deep down. So, is this for real? Well, let's find out just how deep this connection really goes.
So what we're talking about here is something called first perception. And really, it's just that gut reaction, That split-second thing that happens before your conscious brain even has a chance to jump in and start picking things apart.
Yeah. Think of it like your brain's factory default setting. This isn't about what you choose to see. It's about what you are literally wired to notice first. It's like getting a little peek behind the curtain at your own cognitive blueprint, the way you naturally see the world before you even start to think about it.
Okay, but enough theory, right? The absolute best way to get a feel for this is to just experience it for yourself. So we're going to run a little experiment together, right here, right now. You ready? The rules for this could not be simpler. I'm about to show you an image. All I want you to do is notice the very first thing that pops into your head. Seriously, no overthinking it, no second-guessing yourself, just that first instant reaction. All right, here it comes. Just take a look and lock in whatever you see first. Got it? Awesome. Let's do it one more time just to get another piece of the puzzle. Same exact rules apply. Don't think, just look. What's the first thing you see in this one? All right, you should have your two answers ready to go. Now comes the really fun part. Let's start unpacking what that first glance of yours might just say about your personality. So let's start with that very first image. Did you see a vase, or did you immediately see two faces looking right at each other? Let's break down what each of those tends to mean. So if that vase just jumped right out at you, you probably see the world in terms of its overall structure. It means you notice the container before you notice what's inside it. This suggests you're a pretty analytical thinker, someone who really values order and stability. You're likely the kind of person who wants to understand the whole system before you get bogged down in the little details. But what if you saw the two faces? Well, that means your focus is probably on the human element, the details within that big picture. This points to a more empathetic, emotionally driven personality. You probably put a high value on relationships and social connections. And when a problem pops up, your first thought is probably something like, okay, who's involved here? Okay, now let's move on to the second image and see how this all builds on itself. Did you see a duck looking off to the left, or did you see a rabbit looking over to the right? Let's see what these two suggest. Seeing the duck first? That often points to right brain dominance, the home of all that creativity and intuition. You might just be an artist at heart, someone who sees possibilities absolutely everywhere. Instead of seeing the world in rigid lines, you see it as fluid and connected, and probably with a good dose of optimism. Now, on the flip side, if the rabbit appeared to you first, that suggests a leaning towards left brain thinking. We're talking logic, facts, and processing things in a straight line. You're likely very grounded in reality, preferring hard data and concrete evidence. You probably approach the world with a practical, realistic mindset, focused on what is instead of just what could be. So here's the really crucial part. It's not just about one answer or the other. It's about the pattern. So let's put these pieces together and see the bigger picture of the thinking style this reveals. This really boils down to two main patterns. If you saw the vase and the duck, you are what we call a big picture thinker. You're focused on the why, the overall structure, and creative possibilities. But if you saw the faces and the rabbit, you're probably more detail-oriented. You focus on the how, the individual people, the parts, the facts. And of course, a lot of us are some kind of mix, and figuring out your unique combination is where the real insight is. In the end, this all comes back to a really powerful idea. Our perception, it's not some passive window we just look through to see the world. No, it's more like an active mirror, reflecting our own inner world, our own priorities, and our unique way of thinking. So here's the thought I want to leave you with. This isn't about being put in a box, being told this is your personality type. It's about awareness. Knowing your brain's default setting is actually a kind of superpower. It gives you the chance to consciously shift your focus. If you're a big picture person, you can train yourself to notice the details. If you're a details person, you can practice zooming out. So the real question isn't what you are. It's now that you know what you automatically look for, What will you choose to see next?